It's a perfect, cloudless day in Greenwich, Connecticut. A sleek black Escalade pulls up to the Greenwich Country Club, all marble steps and manicured lawns. Out steps Evelyn Carter, a woman who carries herself with quiet dignity. She's clutching a leather purse, dressed sharp clean lines, pressed seams. No flashy labels, but every detail screams quality. Her wide-brimmed white hat, the kind she used to wear to church with her late husband, catches the sunlight. She's here for one reason. Her son, Marcus Carter, asked her to come. Marcus is the CEO of a logistics empire he built from a single warehouse in Newark to a nationwide supply chain beast. Today's a big day. His company is about to merge with the Warrington Group, an old money powerhouse with deep roots. Evelyn's not here for the glitz or the money. She's here to support her son, to see him shine. Marcus told her it'd be low-key, just a quiet lunch and a toast after the deal's signed. No big speeches, no fuss. Just show up, Ma, he said. So she did, but Evelyn barely makes it past the front steps before trouble starts. A woman in a crisp navy uniform steps in front of her, blocking her path. No smile, just a flat, "Excuse me." Deliveries and staff use the back entrance. Evelyn tilts her head, confused. "I'm here for lunch with my son, Marcus Carter," she says, her voice steady but soft. The woman doesn't budge. "If you're with staff or catering, it's policy rear access is on the left." Evelyn blinks, the sting of the assumption hitting her like it has too many times before. "I'm not staff," she says, forcing calm. "I'm a guest." Across the lawn, Marcus is mid-toast, champagne flute in hand, smiling as he scans the crowd. His eyes land on his mother and the uniformed woman standing in her way. His chest tightens. He knows that posture, that tone. Something's wrong. Evelyn tries again, keeping her composure. "You can check the list. My name's Evelyn Carter. My son's one of the owners meeting here today." Before the staffer can respond, a sharp voice cuts through like nails on a chalkboard. "Well, I suppose they let anyone in these days," says Margaret Warrington, her pearls gleaming against her silk blouse. "Are we dining with the cleaning staff now?" A few heads turn. Someone chuckles. Marcus's jaw clenches. His smile's gone. The champagne flute, now heavy in his hand. One of the Warrington sons, Ethan, tries to laugh it off, muttering, "She's probably joking." But Marcus isn't listening. He's already moving. Evelyn's face stays calm, but her hands grip her purse tighter. Margaret's already sauntering off, not giving the moment a second thought. Just another Tuesday for her. Marcus reaches his mother, places a gentle hand on her shoulder, and looks her in the eye. "You okay, Ma?" She nods, but her eyes say she's not. "I don't want to make a fuss, baby." Marcus's voice is low, firm. "I know you don't, but I will." He turns to the staffer, who's now flushed and stammering. "This is my mother," Marcus says, his voice steady but laced with steel. "You just disrespected the most important person here." The woman opens her mouth, but nothing comes out. Marcus doesn't yell, he doesn't need to. He walks Evelyn back to the Escalade, opens the door himself, and helps her in. She grabs his arm before he closes it. "Don't ruin your moment." "Over me." He gives her a look that says everything. "You are the moment, Ma." Then he shuts the door and heads back up those marble steps, a quiet fire burning in his chest. What Marcus does next, just hours later, sends shockwaves through boardrooms, headlines, and families across the country. Let's set the scene inside the country club's dining hall. Marcus's seat is empty, the pen for signing the merger deal untouched, next to a stack of papers, months of negotiations, millions spent, all leading to this moment. A champagne tower sparkles by the windows. Everything's perfect, except Marcus isn't there. The mood shifts when he walks back in. No yelling, no drama, just a heavy, tense silence, like the air before a storm. "Everything all right?" asks Lawrence Tate, the Warrington Group's general counsel, his voice tight, like he's bracing for a problem he can't yet see. Marcus doesn't answer right away. He scans the room, board members, lawyers, the Warrington family. His eyes stop on Margaret, who's sipping wine, legs crossed, acting like nothing happened. She's not just comfortable, she's smug, certain the deal's already done. Marcus walks to his chair, grips the back of it, and stays standing. "I want to say something," he says. The room doesn't just quiet, it freezes. "You all know what this deal meant, not just for our companies, but for the markets, for the future of tech infrastructure in this country. This merger was going to change the game. He pauses, looking at every face. But I'm not signing it. For 2 seconds, it's dead silent. Then the murmurs start: confusion, shock. Someone mutters, "Wait, what?" Margaret's head snaps up, her wine glass pausing mid-air. "Excuse me," she says, almost laughing. Marcus nods. "Excuse you, indeed." Lawrence jumps in, trying to smooth things over. "Marcus, if there's a concern, we can go back to the table." Marcus sits not in the signing chair, but at the far end of the table, away from the papers. "No, there's no more table." Margaret scoffs, leaning forward with a smile. "That's all teeth. Let's not overreact to a simple misunderstanding. I didn't recognize the woman. That's all." Marcus blinks, slow. "That woman is my mother." Margaret tries to keep her cool. "I'm aware of that now." But surely Marcus cuts her off, his voice low, almost gentle. "You knew what you were doing. You said what you meant." Lawrence clears his throat. "We've invested millions in this, Marcus. There are legal implications." Marcus leans back, unfazed. "Then, I'll see you in court. You can explain why disrespecting my family was part of your strategy." Margaret mutters, "Don't be emotional." That's the spark. Marcus leans forward, hands folded. "You think I built this from a corner office? I loaded trucks. Margaret, I drove routes at 3 a.m. I ran payroll from a folding table when we couldn't afford an accountant. I watched my mother take the bus to clean houses so I could keep the lights on. So when she shows up here, proud as hell, and you humiliate her, you humiliated me." The room's silent. Marcus stands. "There are deals you lose sleep over. This isn't one of them." He walks out, no papers, no handshake, just the weight of what he's done. By the next morning, the story's everywhere. A small Philly podcast breaks it first. Black CEO walks out of $900 million. Deal after mother insulted by billionaire family. By noon, Tech, Pulse, Forbes, and Business Today pick it up. By evening, cable news is debating it. It's not just about a deal falling through, it's about why. The next morning, Marcus steps into his New York office. No entourage, just a coffee in hand and a nod to the receptionist, like it's any other day. Outside, reporters are shouting questions. Was Margaret's comment why you cancelled the deal? Do you regret walking away from $900 million? Marcus doesn't answer. Not yet. Inside, his team's phones are blowing up, investors confused, some furious, others quietly proud. Emails flood in, not just from business types but from warehouse workers, teachers, even retirees, all saying the same thing: "Thank you for standing up." That afternoon, Marcus calls a press conference. No fancy setup, just a podium, a folding table, and 20 reporters squeezed into a room meant for 10. He steps up, looking tired but solid. "I didn't cancel the deal because of money," he starts. "I canceled it because disrespect doesn't get a seat at my table. I wasn't raised that way, and I won't build a future on silence." A CNBC reporter asks if it's true, Margaret. Warrington made the comment directly. Marcus doesn't flinch. "Yes, loud enough for my mother to feel it." Another reporter jumps in. "Some say that's not a reason to tank a game-changing deal." Marcus nods, slow. "Depends on what kind of game you're trying to change." The room goes quiet. He doesn't talk long, he doesn't need to. "Respect isn't negotiable," he says. "If we trade that for contracts, we've already lost." He steps down, walks out, and the world shifts. By that night, clips of his speech are all over TikTok, X, and YouTube. A former Warrington employee posts about being told to use the service elevator at a gala. A caterer shares how she was asked to ditch her apron before entering a lobby for a setup. The posts rack up thousands of shares in hours. Marcus didn't plan to start a movement, but sometimes one person standing still gives others the courage to step up. Meanwhile, the Warringtons are in damage control mode. In an emergency board meeting at their Greenwich estate, Margaret sits at the head of a mahogany table, fingers clasped, face unreadable. Her oldest son, Clinton, paces. Her youngest, Ethan, scrolls his phone, nervous. Their PR manager, Eleanor Wynne, cuts through the tension. "We need a statement, short, regretful, emphasizing shared values." Margaret scoffs. "What values? That woman didn't belong, and that's not my fault." Eleanor blinks, stunned. "You just said that out loud." Clinton stops pacing. Mom, Marcus walking away tanked our tech portfolio's interest. This is bad. Margaret waves it off. He'll come back. Pride fades when the money runs dry. Eleanor snaps her binder shut. This isn't about the deal anymore. It's cultural. Marcus struck a chord. Ethan looks up. People are calling him a hero. Mom, they're quoting his speech like, he's MLK. Margaret rolls her eyes. They'll forget by next week. Clinton stares at her, hard. They won't. You're the face of elitist racism in every headline, and you haven't apologized. Margaret snaps. I don't apologize. For having standards. Clinton's voice drops. Then we're done. You've cost us one deal. I won't let you cost us the business. The room's silent. Margaret's empire, built on polish and control, is cracking. The Warringtons eventually release a statement, cold legal, full of vague regret. The Warrington Group regrets the miscommunication that led to the merger's end. We uphold values of inclusion. It lands like a wet paper towel. Marcus doesn't respond publicly, but his silence speaks louder than any clapback. While the Warringtons scramble, Marcus faces heat. From his own circle, at his New York headquarters, he meets his executive team in a glass-walled conference room overlooking Market Street. These are his day ones, some from the warehouse days, but loyalty's tricky under pressure. His CFO, Elliot Trammell, speaks. First, we need to talk long-term, Marcus. The merger was tied to international expansion. Now we're staring at legal backlash. Warrington's drafting breach claims, saying you killed the deal for personal reasons. Marcus stays calm. It wasn't personal, it was principle. His coup, Julian Ricks, jumps in. Can we afford principle? We're barely Series C. The board's freaking out. Marcus looks at Julian. Steady, let them. The room quiets. Nia Whitlow, head of marketing, leans forward. Marcus, I'm with you, but you're a symbol now. People are calling you the guy who ditched generational wealth to protect his mom. That's heat. If you don't control the narrative, someone else will. Elliot nods. Investors are nervous. I had 2 calls today. They want a plan. Marcus walks to the window, looking out at the city. A mom crosses the street, holding her kid's hand tight. He thinks of Evelyn, small but unbreakable on those marble steps. I'm not teaching people power means swallowing disrespect. He says, not here, not in my company, not for a check. Julian sighs, frustrated. What if we collapse because of this? Marcus turns. Then we rebuild. But we don't rot from the inside. Silence. Then Nia nods. Elliot follows, and Julian gives a reluctant shrug. We'll hold, Elliot says. For now. They don't all agree, but something shifts. Maybe fear, maybe both. But not everyone's on board. 2 days later, Marcus's phone buzzes with a text from his cousin and co-founder Theron Ingram. We need to talk face to face. They meet at a West Orange diner, same booth where they once sketched their business plan on napkins. Theron's already there, coffee in hand. When Marcus slides in, Monroe Bank paused our credit line. Theron says, no preamble. One for West Coast scaling. Marcus nods. Figured they might. Theron stares. You figured, Marcus. This was our generational leap, our kids' future. Marcus leans in. I wasn't building that future on my mother's humiliation. Theron shakes his head. This isn't Newark anymore. You made a call for all of us without asking. Now people are saying you did it for clout. Marcus's eyes narrow. I did it because I was raised not to sell my name for a seat at someone else's table. Theron sits back, lips tight. Your lucky folks see you as a hero. Hope that lasts. Marcus tosses a $20 on the table and stands. If it doesn't, I'll still sleep fine. But deep down, Marcus knows the real storm's coming. The Warringtons aren't done, and they play dirty. Back at their Greenwich estate, the families gathered against stone walls, iron gates, hedges, like soldiers. Margaret's at the table's head, unreadable. Clinton's pacing again. Ethan's on his phone. Eleanor, the PR manager, lays it out. Marcus's story is resonating. We need to apologize, genuinely. Margaret scoffs. I don't apologize. 2 oversensitive people. Clifton snaps. You insulted his mother in public during a deal signing. What did you expect? Margaret shrugs. We've said worse in this room and didn't lose $1 billion deal. Clinton mutters. But the numbers are shifting. Stockholders are asking questions. Brand analysts warn of reputation damage. Even their PR firm hesitates to spin it. That weekend, the Warrington name takes a hit. People dig up old stories, every slight, every buried encounter that felt off. What was once old money class now looks like entitlement with a smirk. Meanwhile, Marcus keeps building. Journalists unearth his past photos of young Marcus delivering packages, a teacher recalling him studying business books after class. A podcast clip resurfaces. I'm not trying to join anyone's club. I'm building my own house. Evelyn becomes a figure too. On Morning Update, she sits in a simple chair, hands in her lap. I didn't ask for attention, she says, but I raised my son to speak when silence costs too much. Asked if she'd rather Marcus signed the deal, she smiles, firm. Some money comes with chains. I'm too old to wear them. The clip goes viral, quoted by influencers, dissected on panels. Quietly, companies start pulling Warrington partnerships, not because of Marcus. The storm's brewing, and it hits Marcus's office like a freight train. It's Wednesday night, just after 8 p.m., and Marcus is alone, crunching numbers in a half-dark building. His phone rings, blocked caller. He almost ignores it, but something nudges him to pick up. The voice on the other end is sharp, raspy, like an old smoker who quit last week. Mr. Carter, I'm not calling for trouble. I'm calling because you need to know what they're planning. Marcus sits up. Who's this? The voice doesn't give a name. I worked 15 years on the Warrington's legal acquisition team. You're not the first. They've tried to erase when you didn't fit their narrative. Marcus's jaw tightens. Erase how? The voice lays it out. They're prepping a countersuit, digging into your early filings, your first funding rounds. They want to paint you as unstable, volatile, like you brought politics into business and tanked shareholder value. They're betting people will forget why you walked away. The line goes dead. Marcus sits there, staring out the window at the city lights, the weight of it sinking in. The Warringtons aren't just fighting, they're waging war, and they'll hit his reputation, his team, even Evelyn if they can. The next morning, he calls Nia Whitlow, his marketing head. They're coming for me, he says, relaying the call. Nia's unsurprised. Margaret doesn't lose quietly. She twists your story, make you the aggressor. Marcus's voice is firm. Let her try. But Nia's already strategizing. We need to show people who you are before she tells them who you're not. Within 48 hours, they launch a media campaign, no slick ads, just raw stories. Warehouse workers record testimonials about Marcus's fairness. Investors praise his transparency during lean years. Former interns post videos about his mentorship. No cameras or hashtags needed. The most powerful move comes from Evelyn. In a simple video shot in her living room, she looks at the camera, steady and calm. I didn't raise my son to be a businessman. I raised him to be a man who stands when standing means losing something. The video hits like a thunderclap. Cable news loops it. Hashtags trend, and the Warringtons' subtle attacks, veiled accusations. Leaked whispers start looking desperate, bitter, but the Warringtons don't stop. A week later, they released documents claiming Marcus has violated partnership clauses in a 2015 deal with Horizon Logistics, implying he's got a history of bailing on contracts. It's meant to stick, but it backfires fast. Horizon CEO, Leonard Greer, goes on record that same day. Marcus left our deal because he wouldn't sign off on wage cuts for our drivers. I wish I'd done the same. The narrative slips further from the Warringtons' grip. Every jab they throw just magnifies Margaret's original slight, the one she still won't own. Inside the Warrington estate, the walls are closing in. Contracts dry up, event invites vanish, and a museum board quietly drops Margaret's honorary seat. Over breakfast, she snaps at Clinton, her eldest son. It's a fad social media outrage. It'll fade. Clinton's not buying it. It's not fading, mother. It's building because you never said you were wrong. She sips her coffee, bored. And I won't. Clinton stands, voice cold. The family business doesn't need you anymore. Her hands tremble, just slightly, but she says nothing. For the first time, Margaret's untouchable aura feels fragile. While the Warringtons unravel, Marcus faces a quieter moment of truth, one that's not about money, but legacy. He's in Evelyn's backyard in Newark, watching her clip basil from a planter box they built together. The sun's low, painting the grass orange. Evelyn's in an old church dress, faded but pressed, moving slow like the past weeks haven't touched her. Marcus knows better. Mum, he says, not meeting her eyes. You're all right with all this attention. She keeps clipping. Attention don't bother me. but I know what comes with it. He frowns. What's that mean? Evelyn sets a leaf in her bowl. They don't like when we walk out with our heads high. Makes them feel small, so they try to make you smaller. Marcus sits on the porch steps. They're still spinning it, saying I blew the deal over nothing. Evelyn looks at him, sharp. You know it wasn't nothing. Anyone who says that don't know the cost of respect. He nods, quiet. Then, Theron's still upset. Feels like I took something from the family. Evelyn sits beside him, bowl on her hip. Baby, every family's got its storm. But if you bend in it, what do you hand down to the ones after you? Her words hit deep. I just wanted to protect you, Marcus says. Softer. You did, she replies. But it wasn't just about me. It's about what you represent now. Don't run from that. That night, back in his Jersey City apartment, Marcus watches a news segment replay his press conference. He hates hearing himself on TV too polished, not the kid from Newark who used to stutter in class. But the world's listening, every word treated like gospel. His phone buzzes a text from Leonard Greer. DC Council wants you for a panel on ethical business practices. You'd lead it. Marcus stares at the screen. He didn't ask for this. He just wanted to build something real, something that lasted. Now his story's bigger, louder, and the pressure's heavier than he planned. The next morning, he meets Naya and Julian again. The room's different, no raised voices, just tired eyes. Julian starts. We've stabilized. That's the good news. Nia adds. The noise is helping, not hurting. 3 mid-sized logistics firms want to partner quietly, but because we stood for something. Marcus corrects her. Because you stood for something. Nia smiles. No, Marcus, you. Julian leans in. They want you to speak now. Panels, committees, be the face of a movement. Maybe that's what's next. Marcus looks unsure. Symbols are heavy. People lift them up or tear them down, and neither feels like his life. But he knows silence has a price. He grabs a marker, sketches on the whiteboard numbers, timelines, expansion plans. Let's scale without them, he says. Prove we never needed that deal. Nia grins. That's the Marcus I know. Julian chuckles. Took you long enough to show up. But Marcus isn't done. He points at the calendar. Next week, we hold something here. Marcus can't shake Camille's letter. It's like a quiet anchor, grounding him in the chaos. He asks Naya to track her down. No big scene, just discreet. 2 days later, Naya calls back. Found her. 4th grade teacher in Harrisburg. No social media. Lives in a small apartment with a rescue dog. She didn't expect you to reply. Marcus doesn't hesitate. I want to visit her. Nia pauses. Call ahead. Marcus shakes his head. I'll knock. 2 days later, he's on a stoop in Harrisburg, holding a paper bag from a local bakery, feeling something nerves. Camille opens the door after the second knock. Mid-40s, brown ponytail, in jeans and a school district sweatshirt. She freezes when she sees him. Your Marcus smiles. Easy. I'm Marcus. Brought banana bread. Figured you might be tired of people wanting something from you. Camille laughs, a little breathless. Come in before my dog tries to eat you. Her apartment's warm, lived in. A framed photo of an older man in work boots sits on the mantel. Marcus nods at it. Your father. Camille nods. He worked that estate like it was his own. Marcus's voice softens. I know the type. Over tea, Camille tells him about her dad, how he refused to call the Warringtons sir or ma'am. Saved every paycheck. Taught her to read using old contracts he brought home. He'd have liked you, she says. Not because you made it big, but because you knew when to walk away. They talk for 2 hours. No cameras, no agendas, to people connected by a history neither chose but both carry. When Marcus leaves, Camille hands him a copy of an old photo, her dad under a tall oak, rake in hand, pride in his eyes. For when the world gets loud, she says. Marcus tucks it into his jacket, thanks her, and heads back to his car. That photo, those words there, a reminder that the biggest moments don't always come from headlines. Sometimes they're handwritten, quiet, rooted in old oak trees. But the quiet doesn't last. A voicemail hits Marcus like a from a nurse at Capital Care Medical Center in Newark, gentle but firm. Please call back, it's about your mother. Evelyn fainted at her weekly Bible study. Nothing urgent, they say, just a precaution. Marcus doesn't wait. He drops a meeting mid-sentence, grabs his keys, and drives the turnpike, jaw tight. When he gets to the hospital, Evelyn sitting up in bed, sipping ginger ale, looking annoyed. I told them I just stood too fast. She says, didn't need this fuss. Marcus sees it, though the fatigue in her eyes, the slight tremble in her hand as she sets the cup down. He sits beside her, holding her wrist gently. What did the doctor say? Evelyn shrugs. Slow down, take my iron pills, eat greens, same stuff I tell you. He smiles, but it's thin, and knots growing in his chest. Dr. Mei Lin, young and direct, steps in. Her vitals stabilized, but her blood pressure's fluctuating. We'd like a cardiac workup. She hasn't had one in a while. Evelyn waves it off. I'm fine. Marcus nods. Run the test. Over 2 days, results trickle in, no emergencies, but flags, a leaky valve, mild arrhythmia, iron deficiency. Nothing critical, but a clear message. Time doesn't wait. That night, in Evelyn's hospital room, they watch Sanford and Son reruns. She speaks without looking from the screen. You've done good, baby. Marcus chuckles. You calling me baby in front of the nurse? She smirks. I brought you into this world. I get to call you baby. He smiles, but it fades. I'm not done yet. Evelyn's voice softens. I know, but don't wait too long to live. Her words land heavy. Marcus really looks at her, the lines etched by years of sacrifice. The woman who became a national story without asking for it. I've been thinking, he says, about what you said about legacy, about not handing down silence. He turns to him, listening. I want to start something, a foundation for workers, drivers, warehouse crews, their families, real support, health screenings, childcare, tuition stipends, not just talk action. Evelyn's smile is slow, proud. That sounds like you. He pauses. I want to name it after you. Her eyes well, but she coughs to hide it. You don't need to do that. Marcus's voice is firm. I do. You built me. Weeks later, the Evelyn Initiative launches. No glitz, just a website, a video, and partnerships with 3 non-profits. It catches fire. Local news picks it up, then national picks. The conversation shifts from conflict to creation, from calling out what's broken to building what's right. At the first Community Day event, Marcus stands under a white tent, long folding table in front of him. Food trucks line the lot. Kids chase each other between face painters and book drives. Workers who once feared layoffs now laugh with their families, eating barbecue. Marcus takes the mic. Brief. I turned down $900 million. People called me crazy, but this right here, this is worth more than any check. The applause isn't loud. It's warm, real. As the sun sets, the lot empties, and Marcus looks at the sky, thinking of Camille's father, his cousin Theron, the Warrington boardroom, Evelyn's face when he walked her out of that club. Everything led here, but just when he's starting to feel steady, another voicemail lands, not from a nurse, not from the Warringtons, but from a voice he hasn't heard in over 20 years. It's Dwayne, his father's brother, the uncle who vanished after his dad's funeral. No goodbye, just silence. Marcus plays it. Marcus is still processing Dwayne's call, that voice from a past he thought he'd buried. It's not closure, but it's something, maybe a crack in the wall he's built around his father's memory. He shares the moment at a team retreat, standing in front of his staff. No suit, just a hoodie and jeans. Forgiveness isn't approval, he says, voice steady. It's refusing to let bitterness take up your space. Some nod, some smile. A few get it deeper than they let on. A young intern catches him as he leaves. Mr. Carter, my dad, always said business is just about money, no morals. You proved him wrong. Marcus grins. Nah, my mum did. He's back in Newark the next Sunday, bringing Evelyn gardenias and banana pudding from her favorite bakery. There in her kitchen, the smell of coffee mixing with the flowers. Evelyn's moving slower these days, but her eyes are sharp. You talk to Dwayne again? She asks, casual but pointed. Marcus shrugs. Not yet. One call was enough for now. She nods, not pushing. You'll know when you're ready. Just don't carry what you don't need. Her words linger. Marcus is building new partnerships. The Evelyn Initiative, plans for another Community Day, but he's starting to see it's not just about what he builds, but what he lets go. The Warringtons' countersuit fizzles. Their leaked documents don't stick, and public support for Marcus grows. Companies that once courted the Warringtons now reach out to him, quietly, wanting to align with his vision. The narrative has Flipped Margaret's refusal to apologize paints her as the villain, while Marcus's stand for respect becomes a blueprint. But the real test comes unexpectedly. It's a Tuesday morning, and Marcus is in his office when his phone buzzes Capital Care Medical Center again. His heart drops. The nurse's voice is calm but urgent. "Your mother's back. Her blood pressure spiked during a church event. She's stable, but we need you here." Marcus is out the door before she finishes, driving faster than he should. Memories of Evelyn's last hospital stay flashing through his mind. He finds her in a familiar room, sitting up, annoyed as ever. "These people fuss too much," she mutters, adjusting her hospital gown. Marcus sits, trying to hide his worry. "What happened, Ma?" she sighs. "Got lightheaded, that's all. They're running tests again." Dr. Mei Lin pulls Marcus aside later. Her arrhythmia's acting up. It's manageable with medication, but she needs to take it easy. Stress doesn't help. Marcus nods, but inside, he's reeling. Evelyn's always been his rock-seeing. Her vulnerable shakes him. That night, they're alone in the room, the TV off, just the hum of hospital machines. Marcus speaks first, voice low. "Ma, I'm scared. I'm pushing too hard, trying to prove something, and missing time with you." Evelyn reaches for his hand, her grip surprisingly strong. "Baby, you're not missing nothing. You're living what I taught you. That's time well spent." He looks at her, eyes burning. "What if I lose you?" She smiles, soft but fierce. "You won't. I'm in every choice you make." Her words hit like a promise. Marcus spends the next few days at her side, working from the hospital when she naps. Between calls, he sketches ideas for the Evelyn Initiative, expanding health screenings, adding mental health support for workers' families. It's not just a project now. It's a way to carry her forward, no matter what comes. Evelyn's discharged after a week, with stricter meds and a lecture about rest she mostly ignores. Back home, Marcus sets up a chair in her backyard, watching her tend her basil planter like nothing's changed. He pulls out Camille's photo of her father under the oak, shows it to Evelyn. "This guy," she said, "I reminded her of him." Evelyn studies it, then hands it back. "He's got your kind of stubborn. The good kind." Marcus laughs, and for the first time in weeks, it feels light. The next community day is bigger, more food trucks, a local band, kids painting murals. On a warehouse wall, Marcus walks through, shaking hands, hugging staff, listening to their stories. A driver tells him the initiative's health screenings caught his diabetes early. A single mom says the childcare stipend let her go back to school. Marcus takes it all in, feeling the weight of what he's built, not just a company, but a community. At the event's end, he gets a text from Dwayne. "Saw the community day on the news. Looks like your dad's heart out there. I'm here if you want to grab coffee." Marcus stares at it, then types back, "Maybe soon." It's not a yes, but it's not a no.